My name is Jonathan Fetter. I am an attorney with the law firm of Quinn Emanuel, and I specialize in assisting clients in crisis situations. We're going to talk about some basic advice you can follow if chas v'shalom you have an encounter with law enforcement before you have had a chance to consult with an attorney. Prior to an arrest, law enforcement may seek to gather information. They may gather information by showing up at your house or finding you on the street and asking you questions. They may send you an official document or letter that asks for your cooperation or requires your cooperation. And they may show up at your business or house not just to ask questions, but with the right to search, with a search warrant. You do not want in any of these situations to commit to any position. You've heard the advice, don't say anything. You do not want to discuss your case or put forward your position on the matter. You will of course feel strongly that you have a position to put forward and that should be heard. This is not the best situation to be putting it forward. In fact, it's likely the worst possible place to put forward your position. This is your chance to understand what your involvement is and wait till you have a chance to talk with an attorney, formulate your position, and present your position to the best possible person, which usually is not the arresting or questioning officer. Don't give any permission. Law enforcement may come to ask questions but not have any right to ask questions. They may come to ask questions but seek to search, but not have the right to search. If you give permission, you waive your rights. Do not give permission, even if it's subtly asked for. May I see what's on your phone? Am I required to show that to you? Is the correct response. Do not delete relevant text messages or even text messages you might think are irrelevant. Do not delete emails. Do not go and call people who may potentially be witnesses. You want to get in touch with an attorney and formulate a plan that best accomplishes your goals without waiving rights and without creating independent liability, which is exactly what you will do if you react to the fare and start deleting text messages, deleting emails, and contacting witnesses. In any encounter with law enforcement, you're going to want to ask what the encounter is about and if you are free to go. If you are free to go, go and contact an attorney. This is a situation where no matter what skills you have in life that have made you successful, those are not the same skills that are going to make you successful in a legal encounter. In case of an arrest, this is probably the scariest situation that you will be in a criminal matter, and also the easiest advice. You are not required to say anything in this situation. Ask for a lawyer and be persistent and stay calm. The law enforcement officer performing the arrest is likely not your best audience. You want to speak with a lawyer who can come down and get you an audience with the district attorney or the prosecutor, who will have decision-making authority with respect to your arrest and your prosecution. Most often prior to an arrest, the police will engage in some form of information gathering. They may show up at your house and try to ask you or your family questions. Be courteous and polite, of course. Never be hostile to law enforcement. Step outside and have the conversation outside the house. Do not give permission to come in. Do not give permission to search any of your property. Request identification. Take notes of their questions. Record the interaction if you can, and take that all to your attorney so that you can best strategize how to proceed. The police might stop a person on the street to ask them questions outside their house. Be courteous, be polite, but do not give any permission. Do not allow them to search your phone unless you are ordered to comply. If you are ordered to comply, be sure that it's an order and take a note or a recording of that order. Take notes of that identification so you'll be able to provide that and anything else that happens in that interaction to your attorney so you can best be sure that your rights were protected in the interaction and that you are represented as best as possible going forward to set yourself up for success. Ask persistently if you are free to go. They may not want to give you a yes or no answer. Be sure to get that. Be persistent, stay calm. In a vehicular stop, which is very similar to a police stop and slightly outside the scope of what we're talking about, you will be required to provide your license and identification. You will want to ask what the basis is for the stop. Do not give permission to search the car, but do not resist if you are ordered. As soon as you are free to go, ask, am I free to go? And if you are free to go, go, and contact an attorney if that's required. Don't be hostile and don't create a unique situation. Your best defense when your case comes to trial 2 or 3 possibly years down the line is that the police just simply don't remember. Another information gathering tool at the disposal of law enforcement are subpoenas and letters. These are official looking documents that will likely require your cooperation in a law enforcement investigation. If you receive a subpoena and a letter, that is not an opportunity to go and shape the record, shape your role. Do not call the names listed on the subpoena. You may be handed the subpoena after a house visit. Do not discuss the subpoena with the agent handing you that subpoena. Take the subpoena, read it, and bring a copy to your attorney. Do not call people who might be relevant witnesses. A very common mistake is to delete text messages and emails after receiving a subpoena or other illegal document, even if it's not relevant but just looks bad. It will create independent basis for the police to investigate and potentially prosecute what's called obstruction of evidence. The police may show up for a house visit or a visit to your business with a search warrant. When law enforcement shows up, that's a good opportunity to stall for time. Get in touch with an attorney. Ask if they will please wait for you to show up, potentially for you to obtain an attorney and for an attorney to show up. They may give you that courtesy. Look at the warrant, inspect it. It will list what they can search, why they can search, where they can search, and how they can search. Additionally, it will dictate when they can search. Be sure that you've read the warrant and that the police are entitled to search the premises that they're trying to search. Request identification from all the agents that show up. Take copies of identification. Take a copy of the search warrant. Appoint someone, if not yourself, to follow the agents around as they search and take things. Take notes of where they search, how they search, and what they take. If you have employees who are present, you may inform them, but not instruct them, that they are not required to answer any questions and that they may go home if they are not needed. As the day wears on, do not start chatting with the agents. Everything you say will be recorded. Do not sign anything, and as always, do not destroy or conceal it. Although the police may lie to you, lying to the police is usually a crime. When the day is over, you had an inventory of what was taken, and you'll want to take detailed notes of everything that happened and provide those to your attorney, who will be able to confer with you to set you up for the best chance for success. Service of process is a formal legal procedure by which you might be handed documents that will inform you that you have become involved in a legal proceeding, what your role is, and what is expected of you in the near term. When you receive service of process, when you are served with papers, as the term goes, act professionally. This is your first involvement in a legal proceeding, and you are being monitored. What you are doing may be recorded and played for the court, or may be recorded on paper and submitted to the court in an affidavit. Take detailed notes of what happens during the service, video recorded or audio recorded if that's possible. Take the notes as soon as possible. Service may be defective for any number of reasons. It's a very technical process that is governed by detailed legal procedures. For example, service on Shabbos may be defective. As soon after Shabbos as possible, write down exactly what happened, where it happened, who saw what happened, who served you, and what the papers were. Keep a copy of the papers. They may be left at your feet or in front of you or at your door. You will not gain any rights, very likely, by discarding the papers, throwing them away, walking away, driving away, running away. If you are served with papers, that is your right to be informed, and you're going to want to take those papers, study them, and provide them to an attorney.